Hello, my loves. You know what time it is? Your girl worked her ass off yesterday and she's barely here, which is a good time to be doing tarot today because I don't even need to be here. I can just say my little card prayer and step out of the way of the message, and we get what we get. That's how it works. You know, it takes time to develop your trust in your intuition, both as a card reader and as somebody who starts to feel like you might have extrasensory perception or whatever you feel like calling it. I love and hate the word psychic, but I know what I am. I know what I am. And you don't come, I mean, as a kid, you have that, but then it gets deprogrammed out of you where you accept the first thought, impression, whatever running through your mind. Sometimes it's an intrusive thought where it's like a social faux pas. Often getting an impression on somebody psychically feels very much like a social faux pas because you're learning something private in a very quick amount of time. And sometimes you might blurt that out. I learned not to do that. Not every message needs to get said now. Not every message needs to get said by me. I have to ask myself about timing, write things down if you just can't get it out of your head, and then pray about it, sleep about it, and then act on it if that's what you get led to do. Developing your intuition is weird because you want to rationalize everything. You want to put everything in a explainable box. And that's the illusion. The illusion is that there is a rational explanation to everything. The illusion is that everything is scientific and clean, clear-cut, explainable. It's not. Never was, never will be. And it shouldn't be. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Socrates said it like this. The more you... The wisest know they know nothing. Something like that. Or true wisdom is that you know nothing. Spider plant. This is a pothos. That's another pothos. We keep, actually, you know what? That's not a pothos right here. That's like a palm. I forgot. It's like a little palm plant. That's a pothos, though. It's in water. It lives in water. But all my plants in my room are very happy. So you can see I get the little sunbeams back there. I have a pot up here. It's got mint in it. It's not doing so good. Like, I love to propagate. But you win some, you lose some. I had a passion flower vine this spring and it died. I was sad. I've never been able to grow a passion flower to fruition yet. I will one day. It's been a tragedy after another with those plants. I am digressing. I don't really know what we need to have as a topic. It's Libra season. So, what's a Libra? Everybody wants to lean into the love obsession. It's a Venusian sign. Y'all forget Saturn. Saturn is involved. Saturn in Libra and Saturn in Venus. This is a Saturnian, more serious, studious Libra. Not lovey-dovey. Very picky. demure, very demure, quite mindful, but not very low on the picky side. Let's see what else. People forget. They get so wrapped up in the lovey-dovey concept of this Libra thing that they forget. The Saturn, yes, but also they forget that the 7th house and Libra both rule open enemies as well as open friendships, open lovers, whatever. And your rising sign represents you in the world in a way. It's not the same as your public persona, your MC, but it is the filter, the lens through which you see the world at large. Your perceptions, your fears, your values, your communication style, your attachment style, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your boss, your relationship with your siblings, your relationship with your body, your relationship with literally everything is in your chart. And your relationship to time and space is in your chart as well. That is just, I'm speaking on your regular birth chart, not on your draconic chart. Your draconic chart moves in a different way, has different metaphors, but has similar meaning. These fires really have done a doozy on me. So, yes, let's get to the cards. Whatever messages that need to come through today, whether it be for people who are having coming togethers or fallings apart. North Node in Aries opposing this Sun in Libra. We have Venus in Scorpio. We might be a little obsessive. We might be a little obsessed with revenge too if we have open enemies. This goes both ways. Let's talk about it. Is the moon in Gemini? Fuck. Is it? Am I having a natal return? Is that why I feel like this? I'm a 12th house natal moon, so everything can be quite dreamy and slow for me sometimes, or emotional. No boundaries on my emotions, and I have to really shore that up. Anyway, I intend to not take reversals. Spirit of truth, love, and light, benevolent darkness. Spirits of truth, love, light, benevolent darkness. Angels, archangels, ascended masters, people from the other side, your deities of choice, your ancestors, my ancestors, spirits who want to be helpful, who have volunteered. I'm saying your names in my head. Thank you for coming. Please help us see the way. So we're talking about relationships, I guess, both in relation to how we see the world and in relation to how people see us, I guess. What do we need to know? What is, I guess, I want to know, we have all these relationships, right? So what's our personal responsibility that we need to take and handle? What is going to be the most ascended let's get there, but let me see. Let's get a general, let's see what's going on in general. No reversals. I want to get a snapshot, tarot snapshot of the energy. I'm going to do 3 cards. I love doing 3-card readings. It's my jam. General, please. Libra season relationships of all kinds. Relationships of all kinds, no reversals. Okay, and this is giving, like, if you want to start cultivating green flags in relationships, then you have to become the green flag. That's what I'm getting from looking at these cards. You have to, like, you have to go out on a limb and go through some pretty intense emotions. Whether, because, you know, we're always fighting these internal fears of, you know, personally, that's why I'm rolling my eyes. I have this thing where I feel like I can't show people my full personality. I can't unmask. Because that's when I'll lose them. But I've also been accused, after 12 years of marriage, by my ex-husband of being hard to get to know. I am impossible to get to know. So that's my pattern. I'm afraid to show you myself and unmask. I mean, that relationship had its problems from the beginning. Like, you shouldn't marry the first man you sleep with, especially if that first time was not consensual. But that was my religious programming that made me feel like I had to. So, again, if you want to create green flags in your life, if you want to experience a clearer, more healthy version of what relationships should represent in your life, you have to cultivate new mindsets, a new mindset inside yourself. And you have to stick it out through some heavy duty triggers. Okay, let me show you the cards. Page of Pentacles. The Fool. Nine of Wands. There's a sense of, I'm craving security. This is like a screaming, a walking green flag to me today. A walking green flag. Like, how, Paige, at the very beginning of trying to build this thing, Pentacles, build, early consideration of how to get this done. Like, I'm trying to become that which I would like to see in life. Instructions on how. Taking leaps of vulnerability. Letting loyalty guide you. I'm looking at this dog. Not like warning him not to go off the ledge, but more like this dog is guiding him towards self-loyalty first and loyalty to others. And coming out of that, like, glacier of, it's like, looks like ice to me. It's like coming out of the thawing yourself out. First spring after a thaw. Feeling frozen with all these red flags and fear. Afraid to be rejected, afraid to be pushed away, afraid to be made to feel smaller, or be requested to be smaller, afraid to show your face, afraid to show your heart. Feeling wounded, feeling scarred, not being, you know, I don't know if we ever get over some of these early rejections, but we have to sit with them. to heal them, to not repeat patterns. These people, these words that were said might not even be being said presently right now, but it's us inflicting the same wounds. We have to realize that we're the ones hurting ourselves first. And then choosing flags that don't represent how we really truly deserve to be treated. We're, oh, well, I guess this is fine, and we're settling. I guess this is close enough. And we're trying to get out of that. We're trying to be in a better relationship with ourselves and others. I think this sounds pretty accurate to me. Yes, I do. What steps do we need to take? My father just sighed. Breathe. Take a deep breath. So, what is true? What, like, I guess let's have advice do don't. What's the steps we need to take? Advice do don't. Advice, the do and do not. Relationship reading, got some good, at least a good card to start. I'm so happy. These are great. Okay, let's keep going. I'm getting chills. Like I said, that masking we're doing, that fear we have of being seen, some of us, I think, need to look into attachment styles so you can understand your own attachment style. I'm an anxious avoidant. So I'm working on that to become a secure attachment. So to me, this is saying get inside of that vulnerability and share your fears. Share, you know, don't focus necessarily on the negative and what you don't want to happen so much, but also you have to share your fears with somebody you care about in order to know if your values are truly matching. You have to unveil yourself. And that's what this is saying to me. This is the first card out. This is one of the, in my book, one of the most romantic, sweet cards in the deck. This is the Two of Cups. This is about reciprocity and energy exchange. This is about, there's a mercurial element to this card, so this is like an emotional exchange. I value what you're giving, and I'm acknowledging that. I'm acknowledging and showing you and putting into action by giving you a cup. That I value you. I value what you're bringing to the table. I see you. Let the other person know. Reassure them. That's what this is like. Understand that there's more similarities than there are differences when it comes to the people we care about. And often that can get, that misunderstanding that we're different creatures can get in the way of seeing each other basically naked. This is like, we have to act this out. This is a stage card. And there's a house in the background. It's not focusing. Rare. So you kind of see it. Pastoral farm scene, but they're on a stage. This is the world's a stage, okay? This is the act, the behavior that you must do to build a security with two people. You have to first be prepared to put your cards on the table. I think I said that today on Threads and Facebook. Like, the cards have to be on the table. Because it's either division or relationship. Relationship to division or relationship cohesion in Libra. Especially with all this cutting in Aries still happening. And a way to be able to have something to share with somebody else and be vulnerable first is to know that you have your cups full. You're the one that filled the cup in order to be able to give it. You're the one that's secure enough in yourself. Women often know first. So this to me is saying a feminine intuition, whether you have a feminine body or a masculine body. You have to become whole and give enough to yourself first to then be able to turn around and be consistent and build something with somebody else. The Ten of Pentacles is right after this card. So this is a sense of wholeness, a feminine wholeness, a feminine sense of fecundity, of growth, of harvest, of turnover, of hard work have been done. And this cultivation, that caftan is to die for. And she has a bird of prey in her hand. Whether that's a hawk or a falcon. Oftentimes, we used these birds in creative ways back in the day. All right? There was times when we used them throughout war for, pigeons were messengers. But falconers, were war ready. They were also had their ways of watching their birds to see how they reacted flying over the enemy. They tested, these birds were our allies. So she's looking ahead, looking above the situation, making sure that she has a sense of wholeness before she even can build and offer her cup and then go into the Ten of Pentacles, where she can share it with a kid, 2 dogs, an old man, have a castle, and a man who is, and these 2 men in the picture seem to have it together to be able to create a situation where she feels soft and able to take care of the kids and the animals. The next card is a beautiful card. So why wouldn't this have happened to begin with here? This sense of, I am protected, I am provided for. Not only am I provided for, but I make sure that I provide for myself. This is not hypervigilance. This is not hypervigilance. I meant to say hyper-independence. This is not hyper-independence. This is healing your wounds so that you don't bleed on people who don't deserve it. This is maintaining good health so that you can give to others. This is slow and steady wins the race. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little baby snail right here. This is about rewards built up over time. and enjoyed. With that long sight, that bird in her hand, saying she can see from above to get a bird's eye view. And for all she knows, she's content. Next, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is a really good reading. This is understanding that your independence doesn't have to end just because you're in relationship. This is about radical self-responsibility and not disappearing into the other. I don't believe humans are designed to be anglerfish, where we just sort of have the female be the bigger energy and have the male fish attached to them and become sort of a parasitic hanger-on for the rest of its life. That's not humanity. I'm not into that at all. I'm into interdependence, and I see that this season where the nodes are, I haven't even looked at a chart in a couple days, maybe a week or two, and I'm seeing it in my head. This is how I know saying that prayer at the beginning puts me in a place where I can actually feel into this message and channel purely. Like, I'm not this sharp right now outside of this prayer. I want you to understand that my headache was getting in the way before I started doing this reading. And now we're flowing. This is not me. And I feel blessed to be here just to check in on that. This Queen of Wands has a cat. Also about the cats play with their prey, right? They toss it in the air. They watch. They're very playful with the way they hunt. But she herself is on the throne, smiling, surrounded by flowers. So this to me is saying she has the wisdom to stand back and wait for good opportunities. She has the ability to see in the dark, even though she herself is in the light. Black cats have a wild streak. They love to climb walls. They really do. I have never known another cat that likes to climb walls better than black cats. So she has that energy pulled in. She has it reined in. She's the queen. But when she does get the zoomies, she has other people she can delegate to. But she never loses her sense of playfulness. Not everything is about hunting. Not everything is about stalking. Not everything is about that. Sometimes it is just enjoying and being sensual. And basking. Ooh, she knows how to bask. She's a basker. She's a basker too. So how are you going to bask in this sense of security and love without creating this sense of long-term commitment before it even happens? I can't stress how important it's been for me to be celibate for as long as I have. It won't be long until I've been celibate, as long as it takes your whole body's cellular renewal to be complete. It's almost been 7 years. And I will be untouched in this version. That's a sovereignty that I've built. This is the type of energy that we're talking about. In order to give of yourself first, in order to be emotionally available to be vulnerable, in order to be in your power enough to even start the process. You have to learn how to be singular. Sit in the dark like a black cat and wait your turn. Basking. Because the process is a pleasure. Because the satisfaction of knowing you're going to wind up with what's right for you is better than knowing you're dealing with what's right in front of you. You know, like, to rephrase, short-term pleasures over long-term enrichment of satisfaction. I believe that there's a wave of us, if you're attracted to this reading, and if you're sitting here watching this, and we'll say us, but maybe it is us. If you're watching us, we'll roll with it. If you're watching us, then you are part of this collective where you are either working on pulling your energy in and integrating it with yourself, becoming friends with your ego, becoming one with your... I was talking about defragmenting before. I've talked about defragmentation, and I do not remember which season it was in, but I know it was in the spring. I was talking about defragmenting our spiritual computers and repacking our file system and reintegrating that which we know. And this is the result of doing that process. So if you've been following me and you're watching this and you've been paying attention and doing the work, you're opening up to being able to put your feelings out there without worrying about what happens next, because you're a sovereign. I've actually done this not that long ago, and it doesn't hurt a damn thing. I feel good. I feel fully rested and at peace with knowing I've communicated my emotions, because they're true at the moment and they're true now, and I don't need an attachment to a result about that. It felt good just to say it. So that's that Nine of Pentacles, that satisfaction within the emotion. because it will, what's the word? It will manifest tangibly for us. We will manifest tangibly. It is tangible. It will be, is in front of us. Our passions will lead us there. But we have to realize this passion is our power as well. This sensitivity to our sacral is Queen of Wands. She's has to use that for her wisdom. So her satisfaction will guide her into wholeness, and then the exchange will be able to happen. But until that if you've not done the deep dive, you will not be able to extend the cup. If you haven't deep dived, you will not be able to extend the cup. If you haven't internalized this, you won't be able to put it into action on this stage, world stage. You have to deal with your passions, your values first, before you can get into your emotions. Your emotions are like a reward. And if you're lucky enough to be able to share your emotions with somebody that shares them back, bless that. I think this is an energy that will be coming to us, very available for us that have done the work. I'm proud of us. Is there anything else that we need to know? I'm just going to pull a couple cards and see what comes up. What else might we need to know this Libra season? How can we assist ourselves in this process? How can we cultivate these green flags with wholeness and a purity of communication, because we've done the work? What else do we need to know? Another Queen. And then we have Two of Pentacles. Just know that the obtaining of something, I talked about this the other day, the obtaining of the thing is not how you get the dopamine. The dopamine is the anticipation. So once you get the cards on the table and you get the possibility of relationship coming to fruition in front of you, you will then be offered new desires to figure out how to work out. New options, new decisions to make. The process is never done. Queen of Pentacles, building, sustaining, reigning over, like, again, another throne, you know, just like her. She also has roses around her and a bunny. All right, so this is fertility. You work your way into fertility, and then not only do you have more to share, but you have more decisions to make. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. So I'm not promising you easier. In fact, you're actually going to have to work for it quite a bit. But I know we're on the way. Otherwise, this wouldn't come up. There's a selection of us who are resonating with this reading. I am one of them, who are sort of witnessing this play out. The words that are coming out, and they're like, that's me. I've been doing it. If you know it's you, it's coming. But just know, just because you get to this spot doesn't mean that there's not more levels to go. So don't get so wrapped up in the ease of that you forget to continue to be self-possessed and to do the work that got you there in the first place. You have to strip yourself raw and vulnerable every single day. Be radically honest with yourself and the person you love that you're building something with. Ups and downs or not. The wisdom, the Limnan's gate, will come as you go. I've said this before and I'll say it again. As you walk, the path is revealed. We might not know where the steps are until our foot lands, but we have to trust. And then the path gets lit up as we go. So that's what I got to say on that. I love you guys so fucking much. Lexi, I just got done with the reading. It was a really good reading, so you're going to want to watch from the top. We got some good news about relationships. When are we going to work out? I got in like a rich rising. I got in a little workout after work yesterday. It was like I started working at 6 and I didn't get done. Let's see, exact time. It was like it was either 10:30 or 11:30. And then I worked out. So, and then when I got home, I made a giant pot of chicken soup because I wasn't feeling right. So I don't really eat a lot of chicken, but I got a rotisserie chicken and made soup, but it wasn't your traditional chicken soup. Because I thought I had chicken broth at home, but all I had was beef broth and beef bone broth. So we had a beefy chicken-y soup, but it was really good. It hit, and I'm looking forward to having more. I'm starving right now. But I'm looking forward to hanging out when we get a chance, Lexi. And I've been also thinking about how much I need to learn how to make bread because your bread is bomb. I'm so jealous of your trip to Mexico in the most wholesome way. I want to see some photos. Please, 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 please take photos. I can't wait for you to feel rested and recharged after your trip. Mexico's bomb. I went there. Well, it wasn't. I don't know. It's not. I feel like it's technically not Mexico, but I went to Baja for a week one time when it was like 13 or 14. It was a good time. Went with a family. Of course, that family was having squabbles the entire time, but I just went off into a corner until they ended. But yeah, the replay. I'll make this as short as possible. People getting in on this reading are like, oh my God, there's 30, 40-minute readings, and then I talk afterwards. So I'll close it with some official announcements. So the authenticity readings, where I was doing sliding scale, ended as soon as the sun went into Libra. It is now fall. So if you wanted to do authenticity work, talk later, girl. I love you. Please take care of your body while you play. But anyway, so those authenticity one-on-one sliding scale calls right now are no longer included. I may or may not bring them back at a different rate if people are interested, or I might just put it on the menu and people can get it full price. But right now, I feel strongly that if you didn't want to work on your authenticity, you're going to have to sit with that. As the planets move and do their thing, I need you to sit with that. So that is the consequence that you've just, decided. If you didn't want to do that reading, that work together, then you're going to be doing it by yourself. So it is what it is, and you should sit with that. So that's why I'm not wanting to bring it back, because I feel like, the time to be getting assistance with that work is over. You should be doing it basically on your own. I'm not getting a pull to bring that back, so it is what it is. I go by my guides. My current menu is up. I have it placed in my highlights, and I have a reel with my current menu. But I am working on something for my return clients. For my return clients, I will post an official announcement. But if you're watching this and you've worked with me in the past, whether it's for 10 minutes or a full astrology reading, whatever, if you're my past client, I'm going to bring back my some previous pricing. So I'm going to reduce. You're going to be able to come back as a return client at a reduced price. So I'm going to be posting one of my old menus and using those prices as a guideline for my return clients. Because I love you guys. And then my heart really wants to get back into teaching. So if you want to learn astrology my way, if you want to work together, I currently don't have that on my menu. And it's not cheap. If you want to learn tarot from me, I believe that's on my menu, but it's not necessarily cheap either. I don't think I can do reduced pricing on my teaching just yet. Because it's one-on-one, and I'm working with folks with learning disabilities. So each lesson plan has to be done from scratch. I can't do cookie cutter material for you. Everybody has different learning styles. Some people need hands-on, some people need visuals, some people need certain things. Like, you might need a little bit more heavy-handed one-on-one. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to provide my energy to help facilitate the knowledge getting into your brain. So if you want to work together on any teaching capacity, my tarot teaching is a daily process. So we do daily check-ins. It's rigorous. I'm martial with it because that's how you learn. Make it a daily practice. So we will be doing that if you choose to partake in either of these offerings. I think that's all I have to say for now as far as announcements. But I love you guys. I'm looking forward to being here another year. Another year and another year and another year. I've been doing this a while now, and I want to do so much more. I can't wait to be of service to you again for another day. Thank you for everything. Thank you for listening. Enjoy this reading. Lexi, you're going to have a great time in Mexico. I just know it. All right. Let the energy do the talking. I love you guys. Peace.